So, uh, today is Martin Luther King Day, and as a child, he was one of my heroes. And another one of my heroes was Helen Keller, because she overcame so much. And he did too. And one thing that you can see from King's spiritual practice is that he had a very big view, but he was able to deal with the immediate practicalities while not losing the big view. And so that was making me think how so many of us get stuck by not seeing the big view and thereby becoming quite miserable. And that this is actually one of the disadvantages of self-centeredness, is it keeps us so focused on me, I, my, and mine, on this very small part of reality. And sometimes I just sit back and think, like at this very moment, okay, I'm sitting here, but there's countless sentient beings, and each one of them is having their own experience at this moment. And some are in horrible physical pain or horrible mental pain. Others are experiencing incredible delight and bliss. There's such a huge range of sentient experience. And yet, I think the real tragedy is that all of us, except the bodhisattvas, and the Buddhas, are focused primarily on the experience of one sentient being. There's this universe, countless beings. And if you just sit and think about it sometimes, the different range of living beings in the animal realm, in the God realm, in the hell realm, in the hungry ghost realm, in the demigod realm, so many people, so many different experiences, all arising due to afflictions and karma, all these sentient beings stuck in samsara because of the root cause, ignorance. And yet, no, how many people see that being stuck in samsara due to ignorance is their real problem? And how many of us make our problem whatever happens to be annoying to us today? Yeah. Now, somebody could say, oh, but if you think like that, then you dismiss your own suffering and your own problems, and then you repress all your hostility and undealt with emotions, and that's not psychologically healthy. Yeah? Somebody could come along and say that. Well, we're not talking about repressing emotions here. Yeah? We're talking about having a realistic vision of what life is about and adjusting our views and our emotions and our attitudes accordingly. Okay? So, clearly, if you have a life view or a worldview that's very much, where you have this very ingrained, that, the big problem is ignorance and we're in samsara, and that I'm not the only one, and that everybody else, like me, wants happiness and not suffering. Yeah. And you live with a worldview like that, that's not going to be suppressing your emotions. That's going to be realistically looking at your own experience. Okay, nothing like a little bit of reality to calm our emotions, you know, because when you look at it, what makes our emotions fluctuate so much is because we're so out of touch with reality. You know, we grasp things as inherently existent. Then we have distorted conceptions that, you know, exaggerate how they, you know, making impermanent things permanent, exaggerating beauty, exaggerating harm. That causes all the emotions. Yeah. So, you know, it becomes clear then that if we see things in a more realistic way, then those emotions are not there to suppress. That's not what Buddhism is about. You know, you see things more clearly, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is something big. It's affecting a lot of people. It's my business is the business of everybody in that respect. You know, it's not like I tune out everybody else who's having that experience and ignore them, but I have some connection to them. And so I have some responsibility for their welfare, because we're all in this same disgusting boat of samsara together. Yeah. And I just happen to have a little bit better position in the boat this lifetime. Yeah. In that, you know, having a precious human life. So, you know, if you have a better position, you have some responsibility for the people who aren't in that position. Because how many lifetimes have we been the ones in the lower realms? And it's because some bodhisattvas helped us out that we were able to create the karma to have this precious human life. Yeah. So we shouldn't think, you know, oh, I created good karma all by myself. You know, that's just my business. Me, I created the good karma. You know, they say that, you know, all the creation of virtue, originally, you can trace it back to the Buddha in the sense that how do we learn what is virtuous and non-virtuous? How do we learn what is ignorance and what is reality? You know, we have to learn it from somebody. Okay, so we learn it from the Buddhas, we learn it from the Bodhisattvas, we learn it from the Arhats. Yeah, so because others help us, then we have a responsibility to help others, you know, and to try and keep ourselves out of the lower realms so that, uh, you know, we can help others and so that we don't become a pain in the neck that the bodhisattvas have to go, oh, you know, look, we got her up to a human life this time, and then she just went crazy with anger and attachment. And there she is back in the hell realms, back in the hungry ghost realms. Oy vey, you know, what am I going to do with these sentient beings? And that's why they say that Chenrezi's head broke in 11 pieces, you know, when he was rescuing all these beings from the hell realm, and then they came hell realms, and they kept showing up there again, you know. And one day he just said, I can't take this, you know. What are we going to do? And his head broke in 111 pieces, you know. So, yeah, so let's do our best with the situation we have now and have that big view that puts our own situation in a realistic perspective. And that gives us meaning and purpose in our life. And it shows us that all the little things we get so wigged out about are really not so consequential. Yeah. And to open the mind and think about the plight of all living beings.